Okay. This is the second video about the query letter. So in the first video, I looked at the website query101.blog, and I found a lot of hold on. I found a lot of that's what I want. Okay. I found a lot of good information on here, which you can see it all here. There's all these different sections. I think the query letter summary section was very helpful. Comps, that was very helpful. What else was good? Query metadata, do's and don'ts. Knowing your age range and genre is definitely helpful. The bio part, I think, was really helpful. The rest was kind of hit and miss. But there's a lot of useful information there. The real life query letters are what I'm going to really be looking at today, because I want to look at these as I work on my own query letter. So I'm going to open all of these in new tabs. The fantasy ones, because my own novel is fantasy, so hopefully that will help me. So I wrote notes. This one, I wanted to remember to check out some of these Twitter hashtags. I don't know when I'm going to do that. I'll have to make a... I might do it on stream. That feels like it might be boring. Okay, so... Oh, this is going to be a lot of work. Let me open this in a new document, because this document is really a mess. The only problem is my comments don't transfer over. Okay, well, never mind. Let's see. Is that going to be big enough? I hope that's big enough. I don't want to make it too big. Okay, so first sentence. I'm writing to you seeking representation for A Gathering of Dreamers, 120,000 word fantasy novel that is the first in a series, Memory and Legend. Okay, so here they don't start with that information. Here they do start with that, and they say, I'm seeking representation. They say here, no, they tell you later, and here they tell you at the beginning. So I'm going to keep this the same for now. And then try to put the setting later or remove it. So these two first paragraphs, basically, here's what I'll do. I'll make a copy of this. Making a copy, it still doesn't transfer my comments, huh? That's fine. I'll switch back and forth. Okay. So the first note was all of this setting stuff needs to go somewhere else. That's my synopsis. I have a lot of stuff here. So I'm going to put all this somewhere else. Okay, so the plot revolves around a young man named Ash. I already don't like that sentence. What was my no? That's outdated. Start with this and expand it. Okay. So that was the big no. All of these other letters. They introduced the character, 16-year-old Cottrell. After a bitter war, 16-year-old, another 16-year-old, 18-year-old. Do they all give the age? When the man in the steals, 13-year-old. Oh wow, they all give the age, huh? Okay. I don't know my character's age. He doesn't have an exact age. So I'm gonna cut this. That's weak. It's unnecessary. And I'm gonna change the order of things here. So I'm gonna take this part and put it first, so that we have our character. Ash journeys across the land. That was another thing. That was a note. This is not where I want to introduce world building and settings and things like that. So saying the radiance, I can probably cut that. Ash journeys across the land, or Ash journeys across the world, ahead of his army. He's guided by the god Crackness, which inhabits his mind and gives him magic. I think I can keep most of this, though Ash's mission is simple. Gather allies and place. Now, I can keep wisp stones, I think, since I'm cutting out some of the other stuff. Throughout the world, allowing him to teleport to and attack key locations in a blitzkrieg style attack. Did I not spell that right? I forgot the R. Other characters confound his efforts in unique ways. Yeah, we'll say unique ways. I might change that. Colors. I love colors as I'm making changes. It really helps. One big thing that I do when I'm doing a rough draft or a rewrite is blue. Anything that's new that I'm adding to a story is blue. Just because then it's so easy to see what's been changed, and it also reminds me to look at it again the next time I write, and then I'll change it to black if I'm happy with it. Anything that I'm thinking about cutting is usually red. Very, very simple colors. Okay, so I changed all of that. Let's look at these. We have the plot, right? We have the tension. She's trying to earn money. Brings her dead dog back to life. Things are going smooth, and then things fall apart, and she has a choice to make, right? I mean, looking at that really helps, because my next paragraph starts to describe the characters that Ash runs into, and I'm not sure if I want to keep this. I think for now I'll keep it, but keep the focus on Ash, right? So, so how do I want to change? A Hob Bridgekeeper plays a magical board game with Ash and convinces him to seek first-hand knowledge of the world. I'll probably cut Hob out. And I'll say Ash plays a magical board game we'll say a high-stakes magical board game with a giant bridge keeper who convinces him to seek first-hand knowledge of the world. That might be too vague. Or it might need a little bit more added to it. I'll have to look at it. Believing lycanthropes to be bloodthirsty warriors perfect for his army, Ash learns from a werebear detective about overcoming a dark past. I think though he believes lycanthropes to be bloodthirsty warriors perfect for his army, Ash learns from a werebear detective about overcoming a dark past. I think that little change is better. The insectile Kilkinteth collect stories, some of which shed light on Ash's lost childhood. That's too much world building, even though it's just that little bit, the insectile Kilkinteth. I think that needs to be changed. I think it should be, again, keeping the focus really on Ash. I think just to start, Ash. No, I already have learns. I don't know. See, I'm so unhappy with all of this. I still feel like I'm doing too much. I'm trying to keep what was there, and I should really probably just cut all of this and focus on writing an entirely new letter. Hold on. Though Ash's mission is simple, gather allies and placement, allowing him to teleport to and attack. Other characters confound his efforts in unique ways. Ash plays... Yeah, okay. Though he believes not to be bloodthirsty, Ash learns about overcoming a dark past. Ash... I could say a race of story collecting insects shed light on Ash's lost childhood, but I feel like there needs to be more there. That needs to be expanded. I think if I'm going to talk about first-hand knowledge, there needs to be something here about the fact that he doesn't have much knowledge. We have this hint of that. He's guided by Crackness. He's guided by the entity Crackness, which inhabits his mind and gives him magic. That's the other thing. I do not want to give away too much in this part of the letter. This is the first thing that an agent is going to see, and they need to be intrigued. I need to tease them. So if I say it's a god, well, that's not revealed in the novel until, I don't know, later. It's not at the beginning. That's kind of a, oh yeah, I thought maybe it was a god, and yes, it is a god. Oh, okay, that's cool. It's one of those moments. So let's see. So I'll probably change something here with this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this purple. It's really bright. But I'll remember that those two things are linked. Okay, so a race of story-collecting insects shed light on Ash's lost childhood. The golem... A dormant pile of stones on a secluded beach. Yeah, this one... Again, I'm trying to give too much information. A dormant... It doesn't even need to say dormant. It just needs to say a pile of stones on a secluded beach. Or do I even want to say a pile of stones? It's not. It's more of a rock, a boulder. I don't know. I can look at that later. A pile of stones on a secluded beach. Could be Ash's greatest weapon. Could become Ash's greatest weapon or his most feared enemy. No, I'm going to switch it. Could become Ash's most feared enemy or his greatest weapon if he can reach it first. That's very rough. I'm trying to think of stakes and tension. There's a race against time. But I don't like pile of stones because I've already talked about wisp stones. So I like the idea that of it. It's a boulder. A boulder on a secluded beach could become Ash's most feared enemy or his greatest weapon if he can reach it first. I mean, it's kind of whimsical. There's a. If I feel like if I were reading something like that, it would grab my attention. Wait, what? A boulder? The boulder could be the greatest weapon or his most feared enemy. Maybe change weapon to warrior or something. you know, it puts questions in your mind. And that's what's going to get you to read more. Oh, okay. What else? What other notes? Start with this and expand it. Okay. Yeah, that's outdated. Cut this or introduce in a different way. Yeah. Try to put setting later. Okay. So I did all of that. I'll keep that. What's down here? Yeah, that's outdated. Condense and add to the first paragraph. Too personal. Yeah, see, I think like Stephen Erickson's Malazan, Book of the Fallen, the novel drops readers into a fully realized world and frequently changes viewpoints among primary and secondary characters. I will probably change that to. Is it okay to show your query letter on a stream? Aren't these usually kept between the author and the agent you're sending it to? I have no idea. I mean, that's a great question. These query letters are these are real query letters that were posted on websites. I've seen many websites where they share that information. And this is a rough draft. The final query letter is not going to be on the stream. That's a really great question. That was something that I was really worried about when I was writing my with various things I've written. I was using this website, Scribophile, to get help from other writers. And I was worried about someone stealing my ideas or stealing my work. And because it's a website that this one at least, Scribophile, because people have to sign in with a password that somehow is connected to copyrights. I forget the details. Now, Twitch is a little bit different, but I don't know. I just don't know. I'm not going to tell the agents that I workshopped the query letter on a stream. And the final product will be different from what I'm doing now. That's a great question. That's something that I've been thinking about a lot with sharing my writing on the stream, because I'll be writing a short story that's just for the stream. I'm not going to do anything else with it. I don't think. I don't have plans to publish it anywhere. But I also am writing a novel, and I would like to share bits of that on the stream. But I don't want to show too much. So I think I'll end up taking segments. One line that I want to workshop, or a place where I need a simile or a paragraph. I mean, yeah, there's a question about that. But I feel like writers are reaching out on Twitter, Instagram, here on Twitch. Like, we're trying to be more public and interactive with what we're doing. So there's definitely a question of how much to share, what's copyrighted. Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, don't be afraid to interrupt me with any questions that you have. I have the chat open on my phone so that I can look over every once in a while. I was gonna say, I know where I was. I was going to say I'm going to change this to Snakewood. Now, hold on. There was a rule too that I'm forgetting. There's a rule about capitalizing. So right now we're working on the query letter summary. 2 to 3 paragraph summary to tease your book and its premise to the agent. You want to tease them. You want them asking for more. So you need the main characters, the central conflict, and the big stakes. Okay. The big stakes, world build. Yeah, no world building. You don't need the past. You don't need all the other characters, which is where I'm worried about this paragraph. This paragraph may not work. Where am I? I opened too many things. You don't need to pack everything that happens into the book. Yeah, okay. So it's not here. It's knowing your manuscript, what to have in your query bio. Is it the synopsis? Yeah, reverse outline, main plot fleshed out. Make sure. There's a rule somewhere about. Well, let's look at these. That's why they're here. Nothing's okay. So the title is fully capitalized. This title is fully capitalized. Yeah, when they're talking about the books, that's fully capitalized. I'll have to look around and see. There's definitely a rule about characters, I thought. Every time you introduce a new character, the name should be fully capitalized. Yeah, they're doing full capitalizations for novels. I mean, not here, but the other ones. Well, here. Okay. So, Snakewood. Snakewood is written by Adrian Selby. Adrian Selby. That's less well known than Malazan Book of the Fallen, I'm hoping. I'm assuming. So that should be a better comparison. The novel drops readers. Well, so I'm not. I'm gonna have to change the structure there. The novel drops into a fully realized world and frequently changes viewpoints among primary and secondary characters. Yeah, Snakewood definitely did that. That should be a good comparison. But I don't want to say the novel. I want to say A Gathering of Dreamers, not italicized. And then I'm assuming that the series 2 will be fully capitalized. So here I want to say memory and legend. Oops. This structure is going to change, and I may not even do this because drops readers into a fully realized world. That seems too technical. I want to tease. I want to tease the agent. I want to get them excited. So that's probably not going to work. And here I'm listing all these secondary characters. This is something I don't need. The bio is going to have to change too. Yeah, I'm going to take that whole thing. But I at least want to keep that in some way. Okay, so Ash journeys across the world ahead of his army. He's guided by the entity Crackness, which inhabits his mind and gives him magic. Though Ash's mission is simple, gather allies and place wisp stones throughout the world, allowing him to teleport to and attack key locations in a blitzkrieg-style attack. Other characters confound his efforts in unique ways. That might be too long. That's a lot. That's a lot. I think gifts is the wrong word. I think grants is better. Oh no, what? Why? Stop. Grants him magic. Gather allies and play throughout the world. I'll work on that later. Okay. Journeys across the world. I think he plans to conquer. We have the plot there. Although I think conquer's the best word. I think that's the best word, conquer. He plans to conquer. He has a guide. He's gathering allies. He's going to teleport. I'll work on this later. Let me do the Ash plays a high-stakes magical board game with a giant bridge keeper who convinces him to seek first-hand knowledge. Okay. Ash journeys across the world. He plans to conquer. He's guided by the entity Crackness, which inhabit. Okay. He plans to conquer. Maybe Ash journeys. Maybe Ash leaves. His secluded homeland and journeys across the world he plans to conquer. I'm trying to think of a way to connect to this first-hand knowledge of the world. I might just want to change that. But I do like this slight addition. I mean, it's a trope of epic fantasy that the character comes from kind of a secluded place. And he has the wise guide. Okay, so he played with a bro who can see first-hand knowledge of the world, though he believes lycanthropes to be blood for Ashland. Yeah, I'll probably change that too. A boulder could become or his greatest warrior if he can reach it first. Yeah, I'm not sure about that whole paragraph. But that's kind of the point of the story. It's we meet Ash, and then the viewpoint starts shifting to other characters. So it's Ash's point of view. The first chapter, it's the giant bridge keeper, and then it switches to Ash. And then the second chapter is Ash is in that chapter. And then the next chapter, it's the werebear detective. And we don't see Ash's point of view at all. So it's complicated. But Ash is sort of the central character. for various reasons. But it has this sort of episodic quality, the book. It's like there's this encounter and then this race and this encounter and this new race and this encounter. So I feel like the thing that's still missing is this. He's doing these things, and then, what are the stakes? What's going to happen? I really think I'm going to have to rewrite the whole query letter. But that's okay. That's why I'm doing this. But at least you can see what I had originally and the changes that I'm making and why I'm making them. This one, we've got the information. After a bitter war, 16-year is the only one who can reunite the realms. Adopted, unwelcome, he's desperate to belong and willing to suppress his unexplained fire magic to do it. That's kind of similar to Ash. I mean, he definitely feels like he doesn't belong anywhere for various reasons. Yeah, I mean, I'm really gonna have to summarize what's happening. I think, for example, instead of this paragraph where I'm giving these all these examples, I should probably say something about like, take this and we'll say something like other characters confound Ash's efforts in unique and often humorous ways. This is rough, again, something like that. Every new race he encounters has him questioning everything Crackness taught him. I think that should be the main idea of my second paragraph. Instead of excuse me, instead of giving, there's like again, I'm still doing too much world building, too many secondary characters. We want to keep things clear, concise, and there's, tension. What is happening in this book, right? Every new race he encounters makes him question everything Crackness taught him. That's the point. Gosh, I mean, it's incredibly difficult. I'm trying to take 120,000 words and break it down into 3 paragraphs. I write long novels. I'm not necessarily talented at being short and concise. Otherwise, I would be a poet and not a fantasy novelist. Every new race he encounters has him questioning everything Crackness taught him. Okay. I mean, that feels too vague. But I think there should also be some tension. I think a list would help. I think the main things I need to keep in mind are Ash doesn't remember his childhood, but it's not amnesia or anything. Crackness has stolen his memories, basically. That's kind of central to the plot, I would say. This idea that Ash is trying to find his place in a world he plans to conquer, basically. And he is becoming rebellious against Crackness. Sort of the teenage rebellion. He's in a way it's a coming of age story. This young man finding his place in the world, realizing that he has hopes and desires beyond Crackness's plans, beyond what Crackness wants. So that helps. That list helps, definitely. So I think I can use some of that. But I also need to focus on the I think this one and this one. Those are good. Those are connected. Because that becoming rebellious, that introduces the tension that I'm looking for. He has his own hopes and desires, but achieving them would mean sacrificing the power to conquer the world, basically. Okay, so that's where I want to start. I want to start with the ignorance and the darkness. Start with Ash's sort of ignorance and darkness. Show the control of Crackness and learning that there's more to the world and life than the manipulations of others. That's not what I want to say, but I like this idea starting with the darkness, and that as he's venturing out into the world, suddenly he has things that he's interested in. I mean, he picks up a hobby in one of the towns. He meets characters that befriend him because they don't know. No one knows that he's gonna, he's planning to conquer the world. They just think he's a stranger. And he basically makes friends and builds relationships with the other characters in the world. And so he's kind of becoming a more fully realized person, coming of age. So that would be a better way to frame the query letter, I think. Him, this is who he is, and then he has power, basically. And he doesn't want to lose that power. Because there's also this idea that Crackness wants to destroy, but Ash wants to change and improve. And that's their conflict. There's this constant seesaw battle of wills. Ash is constantly trying to say to Crackness, "Oh, let's try it my way," and Crackness is, "Oh, you're a fool. We'll try it your way. It's going to fail." Ash is constantly sort of lying to this entity in his own mind. So then that would be good. There's this idea that he leaves the land. He's going to destroy everything. And as he meets these characters, he finds a better way, right? So first paragraph, I think it's better if I write paragraph 1. Because otherwise I'll get confused. So paragraph 1 would be focus on leaving home with plans to conquer the world. And then paragraph 2 would be his own goals to, what did I say? Change and improve versus Crackness's need to destroy. And then paragraph 3 would be the stakes, and I'll just write stakes for now. And the stakes would be losing his powers. It would be losing the friendships that he has unexpectedly built. I mean, he could lose his powers. He could lose the friendships. What else? I mean, I guess also he would never find his place in the world or learn where he came from. I mean, that's a big focus. Him trying to find where he came from That should be good. That is a good plan for the query letter. I hope you enjoyed that video. Look in the description down below. There's a lot more that you can find. My blog, my self-published novel, I have a stream on Twitch, and there are a lot of other YouTube videos. From the Height of a Mind, I'm Mike.